Hello again, everybody. It's Barbara. And we are obviously looking at a NuFace doll. We're looking at a large box. So who could it be? Of course it has to be Boheme. Eden, the gift set doll that we've all been waiting for, especially if you're like me, who is in love with the color purple. There is something very classical and bohemian about this look. And I think everybody is going to enjoy her. Now, full disclosure from the top, again, I said this in my Poppy Parker review. I'm being a lot more careful with the dolls that I buy and the dolls that I keep. Boheme Eden is not a doll I'm going to keep. I'm keeping all the clothes, I'm keeping all the accessories, but the doll herself is going to go to a home with somebody who really appreciates this doll. And she is gorgeous. I mean, there is nothing... My personal taste is I'm not a huge fan of blondes, even though this is really like a dirty blonde. I do need, again, I need to be a lot more careful with how I buy dolls. So she is going, and also because this particular doll has a very particular hairstyle, which is not easy to restyle since there is some product in the hair, in the curls, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Let's talk about her face first. As we turn her to the side, and I push this back a little bit, you will see that she has full lashes. They are real and applied. She is a blue-eyed lady with brown, a very light dusty brown, maybe a dusty rose at the top of the lid, a darker brown on the lower lid, a mauve, sort of frosty lip, very light blush. And as always, the nails will match the face. And as in keeping with, they've been going in this direction for a while, the nails are a little bit longer than we've seen in the past. But that's okay. You will obviously, for your own sanity, have to take that off. Take her hands off, that is to say, when you dress her. So this dress is the main centerpiece. I've kept her underwear on. I will say more about the underwear in a second. I've kept her underwear on just for, the usual modesty's sake, because this is somewhat translucent. I think I originally had kept the top on too, but I didn't like the way that it fell underneath the neckline, so I took it off. This is obviously an unlined lace dress. And and this is actually a two-tone part of the review. Let's stick with the hook and eye first for the dress. The hook and eye is how the dress will close. The belt also has a hook and eye closure. It was a little tricky to do because there wasn't a loop. And the belt has a cameo, a couple of gold balls, a purple, almost like a wreath toward the center. So maybe the gold ball is supposed to be in the center. That kind of, if you wear it this way, it's a little more centered, but that's a little weird. I do need to talk about something that's a pet peeve of mine that you can start to see here. At the very top of her hair, this is not very well rooted. Now, I also obviously disclose this to the person I'm selling it to. They didn't care. Because this hair is so long, you won't notice it, especially because of the hairstyle. You won't notice it. But if you are someone picky that way, that might be something you want to look out for. And again, full disclosure, maybe this was just my dumb luck and I had a bad doll. I don't know. I have not watched other reviews of this doll. And I'm ultimately not that upset because, again, the hair is so long, you won't notice. This is, and look, it is very long hair. It goes all the way almost to the top of the leg, shall we say. And speaking of her leg, she's wearing, or has in her, as she comes out of the box, she has the traditional high heel foot with the toenails that will match her fingernails, that will match her lip. She also comes with flat feet that will also match toe polish wise. I'm not sure if you're supposed to wear or what you would wear with this dress, if you would wear the shoes or the boots. The boots are great. Yes, you see the laces, but don't panic, because the real way you're supposed to put them on is with a zipper. This is a stiletto heel. She comes with a second pair of shoes. Why? Because there's a second look, but let's keep talking about the shoes. The shoes have a clunky heel, not even a kitty height heel. I've not attempted to put these on because, of course, we have the ever-loving buckle. Although I hope this might hold a little bit more because you've also got that metallic piece there instead of it being leather, faux leather or plastic. As I said, I left the underwear on, and this is the camisole top that comes with it. And again, much like everything that Integrity does, the material is just so soft. This is incredibly soft. These jeans, she's so impressed by how soft they are, she faints. These jeans are incredibly soft. They've got a nice little patchwork detailing to them, three-toned, with embroidery of daisies at the pockets. Let me grab my pliers, and I'm going to show you that these pockets, this pocket is real, this pocket is real, this pocket is real. Hey, even the mini pocket is real. These are all real pockets, although I'm not sure how much you'd want to put in there, but they're all real pockets. This will not close, though, in the front. It will close in the back with hook and eye. The jeans are very soft, and like all jeans, they're not going to be lined. But this is clearly denim on the inside. This is really well done. And then, of course, the other thing, again, not real fur, but incredibly soft, with some nice gold detailing on either side, and lined in the same color as the dress, mauve, which will match these shoes. Okay, and she also, by the way, those are the flat hands, these are the dialing hands. Much jewelry in here. I forgot I did actually reseal this bag, so let's take out. So that, which would probably go better with the dress, is this medieval styled earring with purple. Obviously there are two. We have the semi-open bracelet. And we have the traditional floral applique gold cuffs that you need to take the hand off completely to put on. This is probably also a good time to mention that there is a beautiful necklace that says her name, Eden. Why is she not wearing it? I don't know if I did it or something else happened, but the hook that would supposedly close this is not here. Unless I am completely missing the point of how you put this necklace on, I'm going to have to send this to someone to fix it so I can have any doll wear it. And you also have these really groovy, especially groovy for this dress, because I know we've seen this shade of sunglasses before, but this is groovy for this dress. Really nice sunglasses too. The rest of the jewelry is more rings, green earrings, which I'm not sure why, because they don't necessarily go with the rest of the outfit. But you have a purple ring, two purple rings, and a regular, again, floral motif ring. These are all really nice. But again, because I am selling this doll, I did not put them on. And the last and most fun piece is her bag, which is all the really cool charms on. The circle that you saw on her belt is repeated here. We've got some stars. We've got the same fur in her fur wrap. This does open. And this is meant to be like, I don't think you can quite put this over the shoulder. And to be honest with you, I didn't want to force the zipper too much because it was getting a little tricky to open. I'm hoping it opens, but I don't want to play with it too much. But just by looking at it, I think we know that this, ooh, and this has got almost like the Ralph Lauren polo logo. So what I like about her a lot is obviously there's playability. She's got a sort of Coachella concert look to her. She's got the casual jeans look. She's got the fur. She's got the bag. She's got the really cool jewelry. There's playability off the charts here. And this is an attractive doll. She sort of looks like, you know, if Poppy and Veronique had a daughter, it would be her. So this is, again, not an unattractive doll. I'm just being much more choosy with the dolls that I buy. So if you are a fan of the color purple, you get this set. If you are a fan of the bohemian look, you get this set. This is a really good Eden Blair sculpt. So if you love Eden dolls, you get this doll. This is now, and of course, this is one of those moments where when I did the review of the cabaret dolls, the event dolls from Integrity, I said some of the dolls were still a little expensive because they were just coming out, specifically Agnes. But the Poppy had been out for a while, so that one was a little bit easier to get your hands on at a more reasonable price. To get your hands on Eden at a more reasonable price, you may want to think about piecing her out, or you may just have to sit for a while and wait, which I know is hard. Or hopefully, if you're on the waiting list, you'll be able to find someone who will not fleece you when you are buying it. So for me, Barbara, and for Eden, I almost called myself Eden again. Woohoo! I over-identify with my dolls, don't we all? Anyway, for me, Barbara, and for Eden, I will see you in my next review, which is not going to be a doll review, but will be the first of hopefully that what will happen relatively quickly, some musical reviews. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.